What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. I'm obviously away from home right now, but I wanted to get the close range meta video out as well. This is using the same tool as my long range meta video, where it's like an AI tool that I've developed for TGD. If you want to learn more about that, I'm not going to talk about it that much in this video. I'll do a brief overview, but the video I posted yesterday that's about the long range meta for season 3, I really talk about it a lot, how it works, and what you guys are going to be able to do with it once I release it on TGD. It's really cool. It's going to be able to be fully customizable based on how you play. It looks at every single attachment combination in the game for every single weapon and spits out what the current meta is based on your inputs, whether you want close range, long range, solos, quads, trios, and you can weight all the stats for how you play the game specifically. So it's going to be a game-changing tool for the community, but today I'm not going to talk about it too much. I'm just going to show you what it's outputting right now. It's not ready yet for launch. It'll probably be out within about a month on TGD for you guys to use yourselves. But today, the code itself works. It's just not ready for launch on TGD. So I'm going to use it for this video and show you what it spits out for the close range meta. So I'm going to do the same thing I did in the previous video. We're going to talk about the top guns first of all. So I'm not showing the attachments right now, but you'll see that as we go through this. I'm going to do the tunings for the best build for the top 3 weapons. So the Vel 46, PDSW, and the Vaznev, and then the rest of them I'll show you the top build according to my meta finder, but I'm not going to go over the tunings just because I don't have time for that. So because I'm on the road, I'm only going to do the tunings for the top 3. But you can see here that the Vel 46 actually comes out on top right now. It has a score of 10 out of 10, which means it's the best close range weapon in the game. And then the Vaznev and the PDSW are so close that you could basically call it a tie. So 9.94 out of 10 for the PDSW and 9.91 for the Vaznev 9K. So the Vaznev tends to be a shorter range weapon than the other two with slightly faster time to kill. Vel 46 has the middle TTK of the 3, and then the PDSW has the slowest TTK of the 3. But all 3 of them are within about 30 milliseconds of time to kill. And the reason the Vel comes out on top is just, it literally, this, like I said, this AI tool looks at every single stat in the game and combines that into a score for the weapon based on how I trained the algorithm to do that. So basically, the Vel 46 is the ultimate meta right now, as well as the PDSW and the Vaznev 9K. Getting into the builds now, I'm going to start with the Vaznev 9K. So we've got the CAS 1 381mm barrel, the Schlager PEQ Box 4. You're going to see in a lot of these builds that we have this second laser. This is the one that does not show up in the air. And that's because, like I said, my tool looks at every single thing in the game to come up with a decision. So even though the stats on paper for the FSS Olay V laser are better, after this most recent update, lasers are so bright in the air that if you have a laser, people know where you are instantly. They've made lasers so bright, so that is a penalty according to my AI meta finding tool. So it's a pretty bad penalty, because you don't want people to know right where you are as your ADS walking or anything like that. So that's why a lot of the time you're going to see this laser that isn't actually visible in the air show up as the top pick from my meta finder. So we've got the Atrazat stock, the TrueTac grip, and the 45 round mag. Tunings here: the CAS 1 tuned towards aim walking speed minus 0.32 pounds, and then tuned towards ADS speed minus 0.27 inches. The laser, we have all the way towards sprint to fire, and then minus 32.9 zeroing distance towards aim down sight speed. The stock, we have minus 2.97 ounces towards aim down sight speed, and minus 1.24 inches towards aimed walking speed. And then for the grip, we have minus 0.55 ounces towards aim down sight speed, and minus 0.15 inches towards sprint to fire speed. Next up, we have the PDSW 528. This is the movement king for sure. This is the fastest movement gun in the game by a decent margin, and that's where it really shines here as one of the top SMGs. And that's one of the reasons why it's one of the top SMGs, is because it has such good mobility, sprint to fire speed, things like that. So we've got the 1 milliwatt quickfire laser for the same reason I talked about with the Vaznev. It's not visible in the air, which is a very important thing nowadays. We have the hollow extended stock, the TV Tacom comb, and the Bruin Q900 grip with the GR33 light rail. So this is a unique attachment to the P90. It's really good attachment. It helps with movement speed. It just has very few cons. So let's go through the tunings. For the laser, we've got minus 0.26 ounces towards sprint to fire speed, minus 13.16 feet zeroing distance towards aim down sight speed. For the stock, we have all the way towards aim down sight speed on the vertical, and then minus 0.39 inches towards aimed walking speed on the horizontal. For the TV tac comb, we have all the way minus 0.35 ounces towards aim walking speed and minus 0.11 inches towards aim down sight speed. Bruin Q900 grip, minus 0.45 ounces towards aim down sight speed and minus 0.29 inches towards sprint to fire speed. For the GR33 light rail, we have all the way tuned towards sprint speed and then minus 0.18 inches towards sprint to fire speed. So this thing is crazy movement, really, really fun gun. This is my personal favorite over the VEL. Even though the VEL scored a little bit higher, I still prefer the PDSW just because it has such good mobility right now. On to the VEL 46. So prior to this update, because they changed the movement speed of the barrels and the magazines, prior to this update, my MetaFinder actually didn't even put a magazine on this. So this is an example of how this thing can work and how it thinks. Now that the barrels and the magazines don't penalize as much, it ended up that the 60 round mag came out on top for quads. So this is set up for quads right now. I should have mentioned that. All these builds are the best builds for quads. You'll be able to specify that when you actually are using the tool. So let's go through these attachments. So we got the Schlager L203 barrel, 1 milliwatt quickfire laser, demo RXT stock, Schlager soldier grip, and then the 60 round mag. For tunings, on the barrel, we have minus 0.11 pounds towards aim walking speed, minus 0.15 inches towards aim down sight speed. For the laser, we have minus 0.21 ounces towards sprint to fire speed and minus 34.55 feet towards aim down sight speed. For the stock, we have minus 1.29 ounces towards aim down sight speed and minus 1.55 inches towards aim walking speed. Rear grip, minus 0.39 ounces towards aim down sight speed, minus 0.2 inches towards sprint to fire speed. And then the magazine doesn't have any tunings. Something else to mention, on any of these, you could swap out one of these attachments for an optic if you wanted to. Most likely, the one I would probably pick would be probably the laser, just because it tends to only affect ADS time. So if you swapped an optic onto there, that wouldn't be a huge change in the overall usage of the weapon. All right, guys, and here are the full builds for the rest of the weapons. If you're interested in any of these, this is what the builds are according to my MetaFinder. So one thing to note, so this is the bright laser. The Lockman sub came out using the bright laser, and that's because it helps ADS time more, I believe. And this build for the Lockman sub has pretty slow ADS time with both the suppressor and the 50 round drum. That's an example of how this is going to work. So if you just ran this with my default settings, that's what it would output for the best build for the Lockman sub. But if you were someone who, wanted better ADS time or better mobility, you can adjust that in the MetaFinder when you're setting up your run of the MetaFinder. You would say, hey, I want there'll be either a questionnaire where you answer questions and say, like, I really care about movement and ADS time more than I think like the average person does, or there'll be a slider where you can slide it towards, like, I think that ADS time is more important than Tony does, because it's trained off me. So it's trained off what I believe is the meta, and then you'll be able to custom tune it from that and say that, hey, I think movement speed is a little bit more important. I think ADS time is a little bit more important. And then you'll rerun it, and it will spit out. I'm sure it would swap the 50 round drum to the 40 round mag. It would probably remove this suppressor because it would help ADS time a bunch. So that's kind of an example of how this is going to work. It's going to be, I think, legitimately game changing for the community, and I really can't wait to release it. Hopefully we'll have it out in about a month. But these are the builds. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. I can't wait to release this for you all, and I'll see you in the next one.